Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mahsa and today we're going to be doing a book haul video. I haven't done a book haul video before because I don't usually buy an awful lot of books, but I went a little bit crazy in September and then it was my birthday last week, so we have a lot of books to get through. So I've got a giant mug of coffee and I've got 3 piles of books to get through, so let's do this. So before we start, I just wanted to say I don't really like knowing much about my books before I start reading them. So I'm not going to be giving you guys a lot of details and reading too much about what is in each book because I don't want to know. If you guys want to know, I will leave all the books linked down below for you guys to buy and look up. So yeah, let's do this. The first book that I got was The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. This cover is so cute. I love it. It's adorable and it's very like gothic Halloween October vibes. So this, I believe, is a retelling of The Brides of Dracula, and it's about 2 twin girls who are abducted by this monster dude, and yeah, and I think one of them falls in love, not with the monster, not sure, but it's a Brides of Dracula retelling, which basically just sold me immediately. So yeah, first one. Next up we have Cinderella is Dead. Now, this is by Kayleen Bayron. I'm so sorry if I butcher names. And this, I'm sure you will have seen all over BookTube and Bookstagram, and basically it's everywhere. This is set in a universe where the Cinderella story happened, and every year since they have a ball which the girls are supposed to go to find their one true love. And I'm sure something sinister happens if they don't find their one true love after a couple of tries or something. I'm not exactly sure about it. But the main character, she is already in love with her best friend and she doesn't want to do that. So she teams up with, I believe she teams up with some of Cinderella's actual descendants who are trying to get rid of this ball situation every year. Not sure. However, I do believe that this does have an LGBTQI plus relationship in it, which I'm very excited about. So that's our second. Next up, we have Sea Witch. This one I'm very excited about because The Little Mermaid is my favourite Disney film, like by far, and Ursula speaks to my soul. I get that woman. She has been through a lot. And the second I realised that this is supposed to be like a backstory for Ursula, I was in. And on the front it says, before she took the Little Mermaid's voice, she gave up her own heart. And I'm like, I'm in. I am so in. I couldn't be more in if I tried. This is by Sarah Hennigan, which I forgot to mention, and the art is so pretty. Like, this art is beautiful. I showed it to my mum and she was like, that's not what Ursula looks like. And I was like, well, maybe that's what she looked like before they took her heart. Who knows? So yeah, we've got that one. Next up, we have 2 books that I bought for purely superficial reasons, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. So these ones I bought because I saw them all over BookTube and all over Bookstagram, but then I went into Waterstones and there was a sale on, which was buy one, get one half price. And I wasn't going to get them until I saw the sprayed edges. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, they have sprayed edges, and I'm such a sucker for sprayed edges. Like, I'm just a sucker for sprayed edges. If I can get anything that has sprayed edges, I will. So we have One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next. This is the first book. This is the second book. This one, I believe it's 5 or 6 kids that go into detention. They're all locked in this room. One of them dies, and it's about figuring out what has happened and who killed who. So that's fun. I might read this month actually, just because it does seem like spooky vibes. And then we have One of Us is Next, which is the sequel, and I don't know what happens in this because I haven't read this yet, and I don't want to know what happens in this because spoilers. So these are the 2 books. Next up is a series which I, again, caved and bought because it's one that everyone seems to have read, and I was late to the whole BookTube whatnot. How many times have I said BookTube in this video? I'll try to stop. So I was late to the party and I haven't read these books, and it seems like everyone else has read them, and they are the Shadow and Bone series by Leigh Bardugo. So we have Shadow and Bone, we have Siege and Storm, and then we have Ruin and Rising. These covers are so pretty. Like, they're just absolutely adorable covers. I love them so much. Only issue I have is these Netflix stickers. Could they not? Like, could they just not? I am sick of stickers on books. And it's not even a real sticker that you can't take off. It's like one of those, you know, like fake stickers that's actually part of the cover. However, I'm not sure what happens in this series, and that is very intentional because it's a series that's everywhere. So if I have even like a faint idea of what's going to happen in these books, I'm more likely to click on that a spoiler that I've seen is for this series. So I'm just not going to know anything about the books, and I'm just going to start reading them blind. So this series I'm excited to read, and we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated. I might do like reading vlogs and stuff for this, but we'll let you know. Next up, so I've seen a lot of things about Sarah J. Maas. I've seen a lot of things about Sarah J. Maas online, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like Sarah J. Maas, so I did a bunch of research, and everyone seemed to say that if you're gonna start with Sarah J. Maas, start with a Court of Thorns and Roses series. So that, ladies and gents, is what I did. I started with the Court of Thorns and Roses series. Oh, these are gonna fall. Started with this series, so we have the first book, Court of Thorns and Roses. Second book, A Court of Mist and Fury. Third book, A Court of Wings and Ruin. And this is a companion sort of novella. And A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is sort of like a companion story for them. And you have the next one in the series, which is told from a different perspective, coming out in February, I think it is, and that is A Court of Silver Flames, which I'm stupidly excited for. And as you might have noticed, I've already read these 4 books. These 4 I pretty much devoured. I could not put it down. I sobbed, I felt things, if you know, you know, and they are now, it's basically like my favourite series. This made me feel, and this is going to go real deep, these books made me feel how the Twilight series made me feel when I was a teenager. So I'm currently in that completely obsessed phase, and they're incredible. I'm not really going to tell you what any of them are about because they're all spoilers. The first one is supposed to be, and it is in fact, a Beauty and the Beast retelling. However, the other books in the series just go so far away from that. So the other 3 in the series are very different. And this is about a human girl who kills a fairy and has to go and spend the rest of her life in the fairy realm as punishment. And that is all I will say. And it is delightful and everyone should read it. Next up, in keeping with the whole Sarah J. Maas thing, I bought Crescent City series, A House of Earth and Blood. Now, this is her latest release. And I know that in theory I should go back and read Throne of Glass series before I go into this, but this is the one that I bought and I haven't started it yet. And I'm a little bit nervous because it seems stupidly complicated. So I haven't started it yet. I'm just gonna give it a while because my emotions are still fragile and broken from when I read A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Next up, we have Children of Bone and Blood, and then we have its sequel, which is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. These 2, they are both by Tommy Adeyomi. Again, sorry for pronunciations. So this one was on the Waterstones website. The second book was on the Waterstones website. It was an exclusive edition with, you guessed it, sprayed edges. And I was like, I have to have this book. But then I found out it was a sequel, so naturally I had to go out and buy the hardcover of the first book. And can we talk about how stunning these covers are, please? Because I just think they are so beautiful. The foiling of the titles is just next level stunning to me because I'm a sucker for foil. and I love it. So I believe, I'm not sure exactly, but I think that these are inspired by African mythology or folklore, and I'm not really sure what else it's about. I know that there is magic involved. So I know that there's magic. And on the back, the little tagline is, "They killed my mother. They took our magic. They tried to bury us. Now we rise." And I was like, yeah, I'm in. Take me along for the ride. I want to read this. And then I obviously want to read the sequel. And this has had a lot of praise online from what I've seen. So I'm very excited to read this. So that is the end of the September book haul. We now move on to the 2 books that I got from my Owl Crate boxes. So we have our September Owl Crate book, which was Horror by Katrina Leno. I've done a full Owl Crate September unboxing. If you want to see that, I will have it linked in the corner and down below. So this was that. And then the other book that I got in my Owl Crate, which was for August, I believe, was Star Daughter by Shweta Thakrar. This is about a girl who is half human, half star, and she hurts her dad with her starfire, so she has to travel to the celestial realm to find her mother who can help her, and adventure unfolds. This is beautiful. This cover is stunning, and these purple sprayed edges are giving me life. Purple, purple, I am there for it. It's beautiful, and this is obviously also signed because that's how Owl Crate roll. Beautiful. And now we move on to birthday unhaul. Unhaul? No, birthday haul. Moving on to the books I got for my birthday a week ago. There isn't that many, but I just wanted to share them with you guys. So, I got the Waterstones exclusive edition of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Now, I haven't read any of Victoria Schwab's books before. I don't know if this is a good starting point. However, I've heard nothing but praise for this book because it sounds amazing. So I think this is about a girl that makes a deal with the devil, and I think it makes her live forever, but anyone that meets her immediately forgets her until one day a boy remembers, I believe is how the story goes. So it's like a little bit magical, it's romancy, and is that not what everyone wants to read? So this is the exclusive cover, which is beautiful, but then we have sparkly gold sprayed edges, people. I don't know how well you can see that. Sparkly gold sprayed edges. This is not a drill. Like, that is incredible. And then you open it up, and then the end pages have this beautiful artwork on them, and then look at its naked beautifulness. Is this not the most gorgeous naked book you have ever seen? Because, oh boy, am I in love with it. Even if this book is terrible and I hate it, I will keep it forever because it is freaking stunning. Love. Next up is a book that I saw somewhere and I just don't remember where, and the second I saw it, I was like, I have to have it. And it's been on my wish list for a very long time. And that is The Raven and the Dove. It is super heavy. The artwork is so beautiful. Like, so beautiful. And I believe it's about a dove that literally falls in love with a raven. I know that it's like a love story, and I know that they have wings, and that's pretty much it. And on the inside, the only thing that I read is that it says, perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas, and as we established, I'm now trash for Sarah J. Maas. She is my girl, and I will read whatever she writes. So yeah, I'm basically completely into it, and this naked looks like that. Look at its naked beautifulness. The nakedness is the same design, which I love, because when I read hardbacks, I always take the actual covers off because they get in my way. Even though I love hardbacks more than paperbacks. So yeah. This is where things get a little bit obscure in the book department. Next up is a book that I have wanted for so long, and that is The Immortals of Tehran by Ali Araqi. So this guy is Iranian, and Tehran is the capital city of Iran. It's where I was born, it is where I'm from. And this is fiction, and it's set in Iran. And if that doesn't excite you, then you're not me, because I love this. Anything that I can get which is fictionalized and has any aspects of Iran or the Persian culture or anything like that, then I am so there for, and I'm on the hunt. So if you know anything like that, hit me up in the comments down below, because I need to know and I will buy it. It's the reason why I loved, where is it? Girl Serpent Thorns so much, because it's about Persian mythology, which I'm like so there for. And this is about a family in Iran, and I think something to do with it being immortals. I don't really know, but the thing is, I don't care. I am excited because this is gonna have things in that I relate to, because I am Persian, if you hadn't, you know, got that. I'm so sorry, this has turned into a very chaotic, rambly video, but we're at the end now, so you know, whatever. Next up we have Anahita, ancient Persian goddess, and basically it's a book about Persian mythology and the gods that I think they used to worship like way back in the day. Persian mythology and Persian folklore is something that I'm developing like a massive interest in, because it's not something that's like well known. Like people know about Greek gods and like stuff like that, or like Arthurian legends and things like that, but no one really knows anything about the folklore and the mythology that was in Iran before everything changed, and what I assume is before the revolution. It might be even further back, I'm not exactly sure, but I love this and I can't wait to learn more about it, and I'm just super excited. And this one was edited by Payam Nabars, or Nabars, not sure how to pronounce his name either. And then the last book that I got, which so excited. It's beautiful, and it is also the complete Grimm's fairy tales. This, look at this cover. Look at this cover. It's beautiful. It's so stupidly heavy. Like, this is so heavy. And I'm so excited because the Grimm's fairy tales are what everything seems to be based off of. And I'm excited to read actually like the darker versions of it. It's got a couple of illustrations in there, which is very nice. This one, this is Hansel and Gretel, and that is when they're in the cage, and can you even see that? Yep, that is when they're in the cage and the witch is all up in their grill wanting to eat them. So I'm very excited for this book because, again, I'm getting very into mythologies and like retellings and stuff. A little part of me wants to write something that's a retelling that incorporates Persian mythology and like old school stories. That's too many schools. But yeah, there is that one, and oh boy, let's put it on this pile because that's the least unstable. So that is all of the books that I have managed to acquire recently. I don't usually buy this many books, and I like to read the books that I have before I buy more, so these are going to hold me over for a very long time before I buy any more books, and I totally love them. Like, I'm so in love with all of these books. And I love that I've discovered a new favourite series, which I've already read and completely love. Leave me a comment if you've got any book recommendations that you think I would like, or especially if you know any books that have Persian mythology or fictional books that bring in any aspect of the Persian culture. If you know any, please let me know, because I am desperate to add them to my collection. And if you did like this video, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!